Welcome. Well, welcome to another virtual tasting of Foggy Noggin beers. This is a very special time to be tasting right now, and we're going to be tasting our 2021 Duck's Ass, which is an English style barley wine. And I'm not afraid to say this. I think it's the best barley wine I've ever had. It might be the best barley wine in the world. And we'll talk a little bit about that, the recipe, what's in it, and we'll do some tasting notes. But first, I have a 2021 here. The vintage is written on the bottle. I also have a 2020. I'm not going to open this, but we are releasing limited amounts of prior vintage years too. So it'd be really fun for you to pick up a few different years and do your own vertical tasting of the barley wine, see how it's done over time. Let me open this up. And let's pour it. So see if we can get it to pour with a head, because we want to release all of the aromas out so we can get all that richness. And that's how I like to pour a beer, because I really want that beer to develop and open up so we can taste everything in it. So let's go over it. The barley wine, English style barley wine, 100% of the ingredients are English malted barley, which is pretty rare to make a barley wine with no sugars and just English barley. 11.2% alcohol, and it's 91 IBUs. We had a 1.109 original gravity and a 1.025 terminal gravity. It has a 21.7 SRM for the color. It's got a beautiful dark bronze, dark copper color to it, and a nice off-white creamy head. We have to do this in 3 different batches. On our half barrel system, we can only get a third of a barrel because we fill our mash tun all the way at the top, and we can only get a third of a barrel. So we do 3 different brewings over several weeks, and we add more yeast each time. We start off with Fuller's White Lab 002. That's a great yeast for the first 2 batches. We add more, and then the last one we add some white yeast, and we use the Whitbread yeast. And so getting that other dynamic of another yeast entered really adds to the complexity of this beer. When we mash it in at 152 degrees, we want to make sure we do get a pretty good fermentation out of this. So it's 152 is a little bit lower than what the average would be. And we use London water on this one. So we modify our water to match the London water profile. The ingredients is 88% is crisp Maris Otter, which is all floor malted. We also have 4% of the next 3. Crystal 120 from Crisp, Crystal 77 from Crisp, and Biscuit malt from Castle, which is also 4%. We double mill these because we want to make sure we open up all the husks and don't leave any for a chance they didn't get opened up, because we want to bring out all the goodness of this beer. We mash it 152 for 60 minutes. We sparge it with 170 degree water because we make sure we want to get all those clinging sugars to pull off those husks and get them into the boil kettle. Once the boil is going, we add 2 ounces of Magnum. Now this is in the 3rd barrel batch. And we get at 60 minutes left in the boil, 88 IBUs. And then we add UK Goldings at 15 minutes left, a half an ounce. It gives us 3 IBUs. Then we finish it off, pitch it into our fermenter at 65 degrees, let it not get over 68. And over the course of these 3 brewings and adding yeast, it takes 3 months for this to completely ferment out. Keeping it cooler, keeping a slow fermentation, we don't get those hot fusel tones, and we get the delicious beauty of this beer at 11.2, which is so remarkably smooth. Let's smell this beer. Oh, it's got just a rich malty, caramel-like, got some fruity character to it. It really is delicious. What I didn't tell you is we add 1 pound of dried fruits into the boil at first wort. And so we've got figs, plums, apricots, and cranberries that are all in there. I would say this is a very dark amber color, really, is for the color on this. It's handsome, pours handsomely. It's crystal clear because we let it also condition at 32 degrees in our secondary to let everything drop out, and we let it sit in there for 3 weeks because we want everything to drop out and give us that clarity. Well, let's take a taste. I'm just anxious. Wow. I'll tell you, this is the best barley wine I've ever tasted. And it's fresh, it's not aged, it's got strong, intense, complex, multi-layered flavor profile on it. Wow. I'm getting toffee tones, caramel tones, maybe a little molasses on it. The back of my tongue, back of my throat, I'm getting some dried fruit flavors from those dried fruits that were in there. It's got a nice dry finish from all that 91 IBUs that are in there, but not bitter really. Wow, that's gorgeous. Now you think about barley wines, it's rare to see a barley wine that's not aged in bourbon barrels or some other spirit, and I don't know why they do that. This, you want the malts to shine, you want the flavor intensity, the characteristics, the nuances to come through from the beer. When you mask it with a spirit flavor, bourbon or whatever it may be, you're going to be hiding all that. And why do that to this beer? You spent so much time and care making this fantastic beer, and then I feel like we degrade it by putting it on a cask, barrel, and hiding all the beauty on it. I wish more people would do straight barley wines, and maybe they don't because they're not like this. Because this one would be really a shame to change the character of this by introducing something else to it. This is pure 100% beer. Just gorgeous. Mouthfeel is pretty substantial. It's got a little chewiness to it, got a nice texture to it. Carbonation is about 1.5 volumes, which doesn't have any harshness to it, so it allows all the beer flavors to come through. This is going to be a great beer today to drink. It's going to be a fantastic beer to age. I'd say 5 years is probably going to be at its peak. But it is so good today that it's really going to be hard to sit these down and watch this thing age and grow and develop, because it's too good today. They're $10 for a 12-ounce bottle. We release it Saturday at noon. I don't know how long they're going to last. We have 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, and they're just $2 bump up each year that we add 20-ounce and 12-ounce bottles as well. And you're going to want to pick up some of those too, so you can taste that beer as its age. The only difference from this year and other years is we've never double milled it before, so I think there's a little bit more intensity into the malt character. And we always use just a little bit of the fruit variation each year, the dried fruit. The reason being is we want the best fruit we can find at the time. So why use the same if it's not the best? We want the freshest and the what we believe is going to give us the best flavor profile. Another thing is, bottle is the perfect vessel for all beer. Cans is almost like you're punishing your beer. You're putting it in an environment that is, first of all, it's got a polycarbonate coating on it, and it does change the flavor of the beer. It doesn't let any light in, great, so it's not going to have any light destroy. It doesn't let any air in, sure, but you're not going to do any aging on it. That beer is never going to be as good as it was before it went in the can once it's in the can. This beer that's going to age is going to develop beauty and character, and it's going to just get more elegant, and it's just perfect. And 12 ounces is good. You could drink that by yourself, or you could share it with somebody. Be great maybe for picking 2 years and with a friend, and you can have 6 ounces of each and try a mini vertical, or you get a bunch of people and you could have all the years and you could taste them all. And because 11.2%, you wouldn't want too much of too goodness. So this is a fantastic beer. I hope to see people Saturday enjoying this beer, and I'm sure you will. And I really do think it's the best barley wine of all time. And so cheers everyone, thanks for listening, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you this Saturday, or if not this Saturday, we'll see you next time here at Foggy Noggin. And get your noggin foggin' and stay safe.